Nidhi ma'am, you can start the class.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, students. Yesterday we discussed regarding reproduction in organisms. Today we are going to discuss the other concept, the second concept of biology. So that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay. So we all know regarding sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction alli enagutte? Sexual reproduction alli it is a type of reproduction. Adu ಒಂದು ಸಂತಾನೋತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯ ವಿಧ ಹೌದಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ there will be a fusion of gametes, that is sperm from a male, ova from a female. That fusion of gametes leads to a formation of zygote, zygote to embryo, embryo to the individual, right? So like this, the sexual reproduction we can see in the higher plants. Higher plants anta yakandru madam. So ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ organisms ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು divide ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ so we will get the lower organism ಅಂದ್ರೆ earth begin ಆದಾಗ the life when life started on the earth, so it begins from a smallest organism. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಈಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ, the plants which we see around ourselves, so it is those all are angiosperms, most advanced plants. So in these plants we can observe sexual reproduction. Okay, so let us begin with sexual reproduction in plants. Before going suddenly to the concept or to the questions, let us discuss a few definitions, few important terms related to this concept. And please remember guys, out of this concept you will get the questions of around 5 to 6 marks. 5 to 6 marks will be asked from this concept. Fine. So let us brush up certain concepts. Just a minute, yeah. Sexual reproduction in plants. In this topic, we are going to concentrate on the structure of a flower. Flower is a reproductive part of a plant. So you should know the structure, like petal. What is the use of petal? What is the significance of petals? Group of petal is called corolla. Then calyx, the leaf-like structure. Group of sepals is called calyx. Then it will be having female reproductive part, male reproductive part. Female reproductive part is considered as gynoecium. Female girl, gynoecium. So it starts with G. Male reproductive part is considered or is called as androecium. Male reproductive part ige androecium anta karitevi. So this is all the basic structure of a flower. Again the androecium and gynoecium andre male reproductive part matte female reproductive part enagtave, they will be divided into the other parts. Okay, the sub parts which we are going to see now. Yeah, one more important thing, floriculture. Floriculture means what? The cultivation of flowering plants. So naviga bouquet ella functionally bouquet kodtare hauda. So in that you can see very beautiful flowers. Orchids na nodteve, sunflower alli varieties anna nodteve. So cultivation aa reeti flowers anna beliyodu yake commercially ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ that is called as floriculture ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ floriculture ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ. Okay, now ಈಗ this is regarding the androecium, male reproductive part. ಹೌದಾ? So typical androecium will be consisting of stamen. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? This whole thing is called as stamen, guys. Okay, so here the stamen will be having anther, then it will be having the filament, the thread-like structure what you are observing, no? This is called filament, and the lobe-like structure, this is called anther. Okay, so here you can see the terms like monothecus, dithecus anta. Monothecus, dithecus means what? Mono means one. One anta. ಒಂದೇ ಲೋಬ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೋನೋಥಿಕಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಡೈಥಿಕಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಲೋಬ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಡೈಥಿಕಸ್. One minute, I will show you. See, anther is bilobed with each lobe having two theca. Theca means layers. Longitudinal groove runs lengthwise separating the theca. So here, this is one lobe. Okay, this two group is called as one lobe. This is one lobe. So like this, if two lobes are observed, okay, then it is called as bilobed, dithecus. Next, this is an internal structure of the stamen, or when we take the anther transverse section, transverse, ಅಂತವಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ you will get colon sac, epidermis, the outer layer, fibrous layer. Fibrous layer function ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? It protects the inner pollen grains. ಇಲ್ಲಿ pollen grains ಇರ್ತವೆ. What are pollen grains in plants? Pollen grains ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ? Those are the male reproductive cells in the plants. Male gametes in the plants are nothing but the pollen grains. Okay. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ microspores ಅಂತಾನು ಕರೀತಾರೆ. The other name of pollen grain is microspores. Fine. Let us discuss few questions. Then again we will come back to the synopsis. ಈಗ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು questions ಅನ್ನ solve ಮಾಡೋಣ. Please be interactive. Please message your answers or else you can speak. Okay. Yes. Let us begin with the first question of the day. The first question goes like this. What is the reproductive unit in angiosperms? Very easy question. What is the reproductive unit in angiosperms? Options are here. Flowers, B, stalk, C, pedicel, D, leaf. Yes, I am waiting for the answers. Who is going to answer first? Yuti, very good. Flowers, Madhumita, Deepti, Meghana, Nisarga, Apurva. Good. Samrin Taj. All are active today. Angel, Kanchana. Very happy. Very good. The right answer is here, flowers. Flowers is a right answer. Some of the messages I will read. Some of the messages, like while discussing, I cannot focus. Ellar messages athwa ellar hesaರನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So don't be upset for that. But try to answer. Attempt. Fine. Flower is a right answer. Next. Plant embryo develops from option A, seed, B, fruit, C, zygote, D, flower. Yes, who is going to answer this? Vinuta, Dyuti, zygote. Good. Darshan, seed. Fine. Madhu, C, seed. Deepti, Vinuta. Okay, the fight is going on between the seed and zygote. Let us see who wins. Right? Zygote ಮತ್ತೆ seed ಇಂದ ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ plant embryo ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡೋಣ. So the right answer is option C, zygote. Option C, zygote. Plant embryo ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. Plant ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ the answer will be seed. Embryo ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ inside the seed embryo will be there. Okay. So plant embryo ಇದರಿಂದ develop ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. It forms from the zygote. Okay. Then third question goes like this. What are the four whorls of the flower arranged on? Whorls andre suttugalu. Okay. Yes. Who's this? Fine. Whorls. Right? When we see the flower, we will get the whorls like first calyx, first thalamus, then calyx, then corolla, female reproductive part, male reproductive part. Like this. How many parts, how many whorls you will be having? What are the four whorls of the flower arranged on? Andre, iವೆಲ್ಲ parts ಎದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ develop ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ arrange ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ. Okay, I got the messages. Good. Very quick response. Deepti, Nisarga, Madhumita, Samrin. Okay. Right. Good. Very easy question. Most of you answered it correctly. The right answer is thalamus. The right answer is thalamus. So on the thalamus, we can observe the petals, the sepals, androecium and gynoecium. Good. Fourth question. Why are petals unique in shape, odor, color, etc.? Petals andre ದಳಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ shape, ಅದರ ಆಕಾರ, ಅದರ ಸುವಾಸನೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಕಲರ್ ಯಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಗುಡ್. ಮೇಘನಾ, ದರ್ಶನ್, M. Geeta. Good. Samrin, Yuti. Very good. So usually most of them, what they think, they will tick for option A, attraction. Why it attracts? You are a science student now, so you have to answer scientifically. The correct answer is pollination. Fine. Next. What is the collection of sepals called as? What is the collection of sepals called as? A. Calyx, B. Corolla, C. Petals, D. Style. Very good, Kanchana, to attract the pollinator. She gave an explanation for the previous question. Good going. Okay, many of you answered for this. Deepthi, Madhumita, Kiran Kumar, Jyoti, Madhu, HM. Fine. Samrin, Taj, Fatima. Great. All of you answered it correctly. Option A, calyx, is a right answer. Calyx. So group of petals is called as collection of sepals. Ge calyx anta karidre. Collection of petals ge enanta karitivi? Anyone? Collection of petals ge enanta karitivi? Okay. Option D, that is corolla, is a right answer. Now, let us discuss certain concepts again. So, internal structure of pollen grain, of anther na nodaga. So, you will get the pollen grains, which are also called as microspores. Howda? So, these single sac-like or bag-like structures are there, no? These are called as microsporangium. These are called as microsporangium. Okay, fine. Tapetum, very important. Tapetum is a protective tissue around the pollen sac. Protective layer around the pollen sac. Fine. See, the innermost wall layer. The innermost wall layer of microsporangium is called as tapetum. What is its function? First one, protection. Second one, it nourishes the developing pollen grains. See, pollen grains are male gametes, right? They should have a capacity to fuse. So for that, they should nourish. Andre adakkenadru nutrients bek. Hauda? Yakendre it should fuse with the female gamete. It should travel. Pollen tube has to be formed. Then it has to fuse. So adakke energy is necessary. So nutrients are necessary. For that, the nutrition will be given by the wall layer, which is called tapetum. So cells of tapetum possess dense cytoplasm and generally have more than one nucleus. Remember, tapetum cells enirtavalla. So tapetum cells will be having more than one nucleus. More than one nucleus. But tapetum cell in a specialization enandre alli nucleus divide agate. Nucleus cell division aguvaga nucleus divide agate, but cytoplasm divide agalla. So namage ansutte ಒಂದೇ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇವೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. That condition is called as polyploidy. That condition is called polyploidy. What do you mean by polyploidy? Nucleus divides but without cytoplasmic division. Next, microsporogenesis steps nodkoli. Cells of sporogenous tissue, meiosis occurs. So when meiosis occurs, that is called as microsporogenesis. So meiosis occur adaga alli 4 cells ಆಗ್ತವೆ. Haploid means single set chromosomes. Then 4 cells ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ anthers in that will mature. Then tetrad cell separates. Tetrad cell means here. So these tetrads 1, 2, 3, 4 are there. No, these will all separate. and pollen grains will be released. When we come to the structure of a pollen grain, so the outer layer is called exine, the inner layer is called as intine. The first one is outer layer exine sporopollenin. Sporopollenin ಅನ್ನೋ material ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. Pollen grain ನ outer layer sporopollenin ಅನ್ನೋ material ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಏನು? ಅಥವಾ ಇದರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಪೊಲೆನಿನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನಿದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್. ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿರತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೈ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಕಲೀಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ, ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದಾಗ, ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ ಏನಾಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ pollen grain has to be protected. ಹೌದಾ? So that is why the sporopollenin ಅನ್ನೋ material ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, it protects the pollen grains from high temperature, from acids, from alkalis. Next. Okay. See here. Pollen kit, fatty substance. The outer layer will be fatty substance. ಆಮೇಲೆ exine ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Exine is made up of sporopollenin. Intine, inner layer, cellulose, hemicellulose ಮತ್ತು callose. Cellulose, hemicellulose, callose. CHC. CHC. Cellulose, hemicellulose, callose ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. Next. Fine. Pollen grains represent male gametes in the plants. Okay. Then they are protected by cryopreservation. Cryopreservation ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ protecting or preserving the materials at the temperature of -196 degrees Celsius. So ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಈಗ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ತ್ ಮೇಲಿಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಫಾಸಿಲ್ಸ್. ಹೇಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು? ಬೈ ದ ಕ್ರಯೋಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್. ಈ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅಲರ್ಜಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, which causes respiratory disorders like asthma, bronchitis, parathenium, etc. ಪಾರ್ಥೇನಿಯಂ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಪಾರ್ಥೇನಿಯಂ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಅವು ತುಂಬಾ ಅಲರ್ಜಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಸೊ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಸಿ ದ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್, ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆರ್ ಅ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಸೆಲ್, ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್, ವೆಜಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಸೊ ವೆಜಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ವೆಜಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಬಿಗ್, ಅಬಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಫುಡ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ವೇರ್ pollen grain will use that food material for its nutrients. Generative cell will be very small. ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲೋಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Next. Next, when we come to the gynoecium, so gynoecium part ಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಪೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. The female reproductive part, it has three main parts again: stigma, style and ovary. ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಓವರಿ. ಓವರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ? ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾವ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ, ಎಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅನ್ ಓವರಿ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಒನ್ ಟು ಮೆನಿ. ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್, ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್. ಸಿಂಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಿಸ್ಟಿಲ್ಸ್ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್. ಈ ಪಿಸ್ಟಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಟೈಲ್, ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಓವರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್, ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಓವರಿ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಿಸ್ಟಿಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿರ್ತಾವೆ. ಅವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಂಕ್ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಸಿಂಕ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಫ್ಯೂಸ್. ಫ್ಯೂಸ್. ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಕಾರ್ಪೆಲ್. ಕಾರ್ಪೆಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅ ಪಿಸ್ಟಿಲ್, ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಸಿಂಕ್ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್, ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಪಿಸ್ಟಿಲ್. ಅಪೋ, APO ಆಗ್ಬೇಕದು. ಅಪೋ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್, ಫ್ರೀ. ಅಪೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಫ್ರೀ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್. So this is regarding the gynoecium. See here, stigma, style and ovary, and this is syncarpus condition. Idu syncarpus condition. And multicapillary, carpellary, multicarpellary, more carpels are there. Then the D1, what you are seeing is typical anatropous ovule. This is an anatropous ovule. Fine. Yeah. Megasporangium, Anatropous ovule. Anatropous ovule means what? Micropyle and the funicle at the one side. Fine. After this brief introduction, we will move to the question. Funicle andreno. Ovule funicle. See, you can see the structure, funicle or funiculus. The ovule is attached to the placenta by means of stalk called funicle. It is a stalk of an ovule. Stalk of your ovule ge funicle antare. Then hilum. When we come to the hilum, hilum is the body of an ovule which fuses with the funicle. And here the main things are integuments andre layers. Then micropyle anta andre the opening at the ovule, lower end. You can see the micropyle. Fine. Micropyle. Chalaza, opposite to micropolar end. Opposite to micropolar. Opposite to opening eniratala, it is called chalaza. Next. Yeah. Nucellus, tissue encloses embryo sac. Very important term, nucellus. Tissue encloses embryo sac. Embryo sac na yav tissue cover madirato, adakke nucellus anta antare. Not nucleus, it is called nucellus. Then embryo sac, female gametally, again you have parts, egg apparatus, filiform apparatus, antipodals, moor iratte, 2 haploid nuclei. How many haploid nuclei? 2 haploid nuclei. So the polar region andre poles region alli irodrinda, those are called as polar nuclei anta antare. Next, let us discuss some questions on it now. Fine. Sixth question goes like this. Embryo of flowering plant is always embryo. Okay. Haploid, diploid, triploid, tetraploid. Embryo of, yes, I got the Subhash option A, Kanchana option A, Diti option A, embryo anta keltidare. Question na neatagi oದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Embryo of flowering plants plant haploid iratto, diploid iratto. Embryo andre ಏನು? Embryo ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? When there is a fusion of male gamete with the female gamete, zygote is formed. Zygote develops into an embryo. Andre embryo should be. Most of you changed your answer now, right? So the right answer is diploid. Okay, male gamete will be fused. Male gamete will be N, haploid irutte. Female gamete will be haploid. When they fuse, it forms a zygote, which is diploid. Zygote ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Embryo ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ cell division ಅಂದ್ರೆ meiosis ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So embryo of the flowering plant will be diploid. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Next, what does the following picture depict? ಒಂದು ರಫ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ತೆಗೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Option A, gynoecium, B, androecium, C, pollination, D, cross pollination. Yuti, Darshu, Deepti, Meghana, Abbas Khan, Preeti, Kiran Kumar, Simran Sharif, Subhash, good. Vinuta, Kanchana Raj, and Angel, Fatima, Ganesh, Abdul, Samrin, Suha. Fine, good. So the right answer is option A, that is gynoecium. Next question. Anthers and filaments form. Anthers matte filaments they together form gynoecium, B, calyx, C, androecium, D, corolla. Answer, yes. Kiran Kumar, Deepti, Simran, Meghana, Ganesh, Vinuta, Abbas Khan. Simran Sharif. Great, all of you answered it correctly. The right answer is option C, that is androecium. Good. What is self-pollination? Means in the options you are given the definition of self-pollination. You have to select the correct one. Option A, pollens of a flower falling on another flower. B, pollens of flower falling on the stigma of the same flower. C, pollens of the flower falling of the stigma of another flower of the same plant. D, pollens of a flower falling on any flower. Yes, 10 answers, 11, 12. Good. Very good. The right answer is option B, that is pollens of a flower falling on the stigma of the same flower. It is called self-pollination. Yes. What does androecium produce? What does androecium produce? Option A, spores. Option B, microspores. Option C, egg. Option D, ovules. Very important question. Key question 2. Good. Okay. Some of you answered it as A, some of you answered it as B. The right answer is microspores. That is male gametes that are nothing but pollen grains. Microspores is a right answer. Fine. 11th question goes like this. Dash may be defined as occurrence of 2 or more embryo in one ovule. 2 or more embryo. ಒಂದೇ ovule ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು embryo ಕಂಡು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ polyembryony, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ nucellus, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ parthenocarps, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ embryogenesis. I got 18 messages. Great. 21. Vinuta, Samrin, Ganesh, Yuki, Kanchana, Meghana, Deepti. Okay. Madhumita, Suha, Kiran, Darshan. Okay. The right answer is option A, that is polyembryony. The condition is called as poly, many embryo. Okay. Next. 12. Dash noticed polyembryony in orange seeds. Who is the scientist who noticed polyembryony? A. Ernst Haeckel, B. Winkler, C. Schramm, D. Leeuwenhoek. A. Okay. Who will answer this? The questions are not like options A, B, C, D. Think over it. Read the question properly and then answer. Only one person answered it correctly till now. Duty. Okay. The right answer is option D, that is Leeuwenhoek is a right answer. Leeuwenhoek. Okay. So this can be answered only by the people who read the textbook. Okay. Then 13. Nucellar adventive polyembryony is of great significance in aquaculture, pisciculture, apiculture, horticulture. So nucellar adventive polyembryony andre it is a technique. So ಈ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. A, B, C, D are the options. Who is going to answer it first? Kiran Kumar, Ikki, Simran Sharif, Vinuta, Gana, Abbas Khan, Ganesh, Padma, Samrin Taj, Yuti. We don't have an option E. Okay. Kanchana. What is the meaning of this question is nucellar adventive polyembryony. Nucellar adventive polyembryony ಅಂದ್ರೆ polyembryony ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ಇರೋ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಗೆ polyembryony ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಸೆಲಾರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ನರಿಶಿಂಗ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ನ್ಯೂಸೆಲಾರ್ ಅಡ್ವೆಂಟಿವ್ polyembryony ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಡ್ವೆಂಟಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್. ನಾವು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು ಯಾವ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಹಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಚರ್. ಹಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ನ ಒಂದು ಫೀಲ್ಡ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್. ಹಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಕೇನ್, ಮೇಸ್, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಪಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ದಟ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಚರ್. ಸೊ ಈ ನ್ಯೂಸೆಲಾರ್ ಅಡ್ವೆಂಟಿವ್ ಪಾಲಿಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋನ ಹಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್. ಸೊ ಅವೇನಿರ್ತವೆ ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಆ ಗಿಡಗಳಿಗೆ ಆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೇಗ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಹರಡಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಡ್ಯಾಪ್ಟ್ ಟು ಎನಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮೇಟ್ ಗೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಂಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಡ್ಯಾಪ್ಟ್, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ಲೈಮೇಟ್ ಗೂ those plants can adjust. So this technique is used in horticulture. The right answer is horticulture. Yes. Yeah. Next question. Plant embryo is a mass of A. cells, B. uncertain tissue, C. collection of plant tissue, D. miniature plant. It is a mass of what? Plant embryo andre it is a mass of adrinda ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, what it develops into. Okay, mass of cells. No. Plant embryo is a mass of andre what it develops into further. ಮುಂದೆ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 2 persons answered it correctly till now. I will not tell the name because after that everyone will type that option only, no? Yeah, 3 persons, Ganesh, Dyuti and Diti. Option D, miniature plant is a right answer. It is a mass of miniature plant. That embryo develops into a new plant further, right? So it is a mass of miniature plant. Next, 15th question goes like this. Stamen is a modification of. Stamen is a modification of. Option A, leaf. Option B, microsporophyll. Option C, megasporophyll. Option D, shoot. Andre, I told you all lower plants, higher plants anta ide. So in the lower plants, those who are not most advanced, for example, cycads togobodu, gymnosperms alli, pteridophytes alli nodidaga ferns togobodu. So alli androecium, gynoecium ashtu develop agirlilla. So those were in the form of a leaf-like structure which are called sporophylls. So stamen is a modification of what? Iga higher plants alli enagu aa structures modify aayi andre innu jaasti advance aadu. So that is why stamen is a modification of which structure in a lower plants. Lower plants alli yava part stamen agi higher plants alli modify aitu anta helidare. Many of you answered it correctly. Yes, good going. So the right answer is option B, microsporophyll. The right answer is option B, microsporophyll. Now, let us briefly discuss regarding certain concepts again. Then, so the formation of ovum or a ova is called megasporogenesis. So alli enagutte, cells in the nucellus near micropolar region. Meiosis occurs where 4 cell haploid cells will be formed. 3 will be near micropolar end. When will be the ova or a egg, which will be functional. Okay, functional megaspore, functional ovule enlarges doddadagutte and undergo mitotic division to form 2 nuclei which move to 2 opposite poles. So adakke polar nuclei anta karitare. Let us see. MMC means what? Megaspore mother cells. Megaspore mother cells. Okay, so these megaspore mother cells gives rise to megaspores. Next, see here. Antipodals, 3 antipodals are there. 2 polar nuclei are there. Central cell is there. Egg or ovule. These are called synergids. Synergid from where the pollen tube enters. This is a developed structure of a embryos. Chalazial end, micropolar end. Synergids are there. Filiform apparatus, polar nuclei, central cell, and the ovule. That is ova or a egg. Next. Briefly, just check the differences between micro and megasporogenesis. This occurs in the androecium. This occurs in the gynoecium. Here, meiotic formation, 4 haploid microspores are formed. Here, meiotic formation haploid megaspores from diploid megaspore mother cell. Then here it is tetrahedral, 4 lobes agi ಇಲ್ಲಿ arrangement ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು straight linear ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಪೋರ್ ಟೆಟ್ರಾ 4 ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಅವು 4 ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ 1 ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್. ಅದರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ನೋ, those cells will not be functional. ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೆನೆಸಿಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಲಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಂ and this one will occur in megasporangium. Last difference, a large number of microspore mother cells are functional in microsporangium. Illi only single mother cell will be active. Okay, self pollination, autogamy. Autogamy means within the same flower. Auto means what? Cell. Auto means cell. So illi plasmogamous and cleistogamous anno 2 terms bartave makale. Plasmo means what? Exposed anther and stigma. Anther ಮತ್ತು stigma exposed ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತವೆ. Cleistogamous means what? Closed anther and stigma. You cannot differentiate the anther and stigma. You cannot see anther and stigma clearly. So it is called cleistogamous. Okay. And cleistogamous flower ಏನಿರ್ತವೆ, those are purely autogamous and assured seed set even in absence of pollinator. Pollinator ಬೇಕೆ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ those will be closed, anther and stigma will be closed. So ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ pollination ಆಗತ್ತೆ. So that is why autogamous ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Then there is no need of pollinator at all. Next one is geitonogamy, means pollination between 2 flowers of the same plant. Self pollination ಅಲ್ಲಿ autogamy ಮತ್ತೆ geitonogamy ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. geitonogamy ಅಂತ ಅಥವಾ geitonogamy ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ. So geitonogamy ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 2 ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟಿನ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನು ಅದೇ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟಿನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ನ ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿಡತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಗೆ ಜಿಟನೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ ಆರ್ ಗಿಟನೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ xenogamy. Xeno, transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of different plant is called xenogamy or cross pollination. Agents go to abiotic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವ ಇರದ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ವಿಂಡ್, ವಾಟರ್ ಇಂದ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಪರಾಗಸ್ಪರ್ಶ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಜೀವವಿರುವ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಿಂದ ಪರಾಗಸ್ಪರ್ಶ ಅಥವಾ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. In that also we have certain terms. Anemophily, anemo ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ wind. So wind in the pollination ಆದ್ರೆ it is called anemophily. Anemophily. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, flowers will be, the stamens will be well exposed ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಹೌದಾ? Then those will be light ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು so that they can flow away by the wind. Hydrophilic, as the name suggests, water in the pollination ಆದ್ರೆ hydrophilic ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So pollen grains released into the surface, usually this occurs in the aquatic plants. Aquatic plants alli ee reeti pollination agutte. Sea grass anno plant alli the flowers remain submerged. Remain submerged ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಒಳಗಡೆ flowers ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀರಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅವು submerge ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. So there hydrophilic kind of pollination will takes place. Then pollen grains, sea grass alli, those will be long and ribbon like so that they can travel. Next, see, very nicely they have given the flow chart here. Pollination alli ಎರಡು ವಿಧ, self ಮತ್ತೆ cross pollination. Self alli ಮತ್ತೆ autogamy ಮತ್ತೆ genitogamy ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Cross pollination alli ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಸರೇ xenogamy ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Autogamy alli again we have chasmogamy. Open flower ge chasmogamy anತಾರೆ, closed flower ge cleistogamy ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Next, okay, examples, differences between pollinated agents. Yes, here we have certain terms again. ಎಂಟೆಮೋಫಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಂಟೆಮೋಫಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆರ್ನಾಥೋಫಿಲಿ, ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಆರ್ನಾಥೋಫಿಲಿ. ಖೈರೋಪ್ಟೆರೋಫಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್, ಹೌದಾ, ಬಾವುಲಿಗಳಿಂದ. ಮೆಲಾಕೋಫಿಲಿ, ಸ್ನೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಲಗ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ? ದೆನ್ ಮಿರ್ಮಿಯೋಫಿಲಿ ಆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುವೆಗಳಿಂದ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಿರ್ಮಿಕೋಫಿಲಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ okay, outbreeding devices heterostyle pollen polytency outbreed over inbreeding. Yes, any doubt? Fine, let us solve some questions now. 16th question. Before that, whether the concepts are clear? Any doubt? Yes, whether the concepts are clear? Fine. Next. Question number 16. In a type of apomixis known as adventive embryony, embryos develop directly from the adventive embryony alli embryo edrinda develop agate. A, nucellus or integuments. B, zygote. C, synergids or antipodals. D, accessory embryo sacs in the ovule. Good. Okay. Apurva, Subhash. Next, Darshan. Okay. In a type of apomixis, adventive polyembryony, adventive false polyembryony. ಹೇಗಾಗತ್ತೆ? Adventive, not adventive means not false. ಅಂದ್ರೆ other than the reproductive part, vegetative part involved ಅದ adventive embryony ಹೇಗಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ adventive polyembryony ಆಗತ್ತೆ? Most of you answered it correctly. Option B is the right answer. Sorry. Option A, nucellus and integuments. Nucellus and integument is the right answer. Next, question number 17. In some plants, anthers and stigma grow and mature at the same time. One time alli anther mat stigma matured ಆಗ್ತವೆ. So ಆ condition ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? A, homogamy. B, syngamy. C, allogamy. D, fusion. Read the question properly. Most of you answered it correctly. Some of you got it confused. The right answer here is option A. So, homogamy. Homo means same. At the same time, both gametes will, both reproductive parts will mature. So, it is called homogamy. Question number 18. In which one pair both the plants can be vegetatively propagated by leaf segment? They asked the examples, guys. Okay, observe it carefully. See to the question carefully. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪೇರ್, ಯಾವ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲೀಫ್ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ವೆಜಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಷನ್ ನ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? ಅಗೇವ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲಾಂಚೋ, ಬ್ರಯೋಫಿಲಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲಾಂಚೋ, asparagus and bryophyllum, chrysanthemum and agave. Very important question. Okay, good. Most of you answered. Tarun, Ganesh, Madhumita, Apurva. Right. The right answer is option B, bryophyllum and calancho. Just a minute. Yeah. Question number 19. Through which cell of the embryo sac does the pollen tube enter the embryo sac? Pollen tube ಯಾವ ಪಾರ್ಟಿನ ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇಂದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? Egg cell, persistent synergid, degenerated synergid, central cell. Yes. Okay. Most of you answered it as option B, persistent synergid. So, in embryo sac, we got two cells which are called synergids, right? ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು persistent synergid. Persistence ಅಂದ್ರೆ long time persist ಆಗೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Degenerated synergid ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪೋಲನ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎಂಟರ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ means it will dissolve and it will go. So here, through which of the cell of the embryo sac pollen tube enter the embryo sac? The right answer is option C, that is degenerated synergid. Degenerated synergid. So through the chemotaxis, the chemical signals in the once the pollen tube enters the embryo sac, that synergid, degenerated synergid ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ pollen tube enter ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. At that time, the synergid will get degenerated. Okay, will get dissolved. So it is called as degenerated synergid. Fine. Question number 20. Anthesis is a phenomenon that refers to. Anthesis andre enu? Anthesis agbekadu. Option A, formation of pollen. Option B, development of anther. Option C, opening of flower bud. Option D, reception of pollen by stigma. Reception of pollen by stigma. Subhash, Preeti, Rupa, Harshita, Kirtana. Okay. Abbas Khan, Gana, Tarun, Madhumita, Simran Sharif. See here. By seeing the term, our term nodi, yellaru most of you answered as option D, development of anther. No, it is wrong. Opening of flower bud ke anthesis anta karitare. There, the spelling got wrong. I told you, anthesis alla adu anthesis. Anthesis anta yava termu illa biology. Right? Exact definition illa anthesis ke. Anther formation athwa development ge microsporogenesis anta karitini. Ade riti, flower bud the open ago process ge anthesis anta karitare. The right answer is opening of flower bud. Not blood. Opening of flower bud. Option C is the right answer. Don't get confused. Read the question properly and then answer. 21st question. The pollen tube usually enters the embryo sac through one of the synergid by directly penetrating the egg between one synergid and central cell by knocking off the antipodal cell. Option A. Most of you voted for option A. Fine. Padma, Rupa, Tarshu. Okay. The right answer is option A, that is through synergid, through one of the synergid. Yava synergid to degenerated or degenerative synergid. 22nd, milky water of tender coconut is option A, liquid gamete, option B, liquid nucellus, option D, liquid female gametophyte, option D, liquid endosperm. Liquid endosperm. Good. Okay. Abdul, Simran, Vinuta. Don't get confused with the nucellus or the endosperm. The right answer is liquid endosperm. Option D is the right answer. Now let us discuss few concepts regarding endosperm. Just a minute. See, endosperm development, PEN, primary endosperm cell. You should remember it will be triploid. 3N will be there, triploid. Endosperm, cells filled with reserved food material. So in the endosperm, the cells will be filled with reserved food material, which will be providing the food until the plant develops. Okay, to the cotyledons also it will be providing the food. Then again we have seed formation. The endosperm nucleus, which is triploid in condition, that will divide repeatedly to form endosperm, right? This endosperm acts as a food store for the developing seed. Seed is nothing but ovule develops into seed, right? See here, nuclear. PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, successively undergo nuclear division where more nuclei will be formed, okay? And free nuclear endosperm, nuclei will be free. It is called nuclear. Then cellular endosperm formation, first and subsequent division followed by cell wall formation. CW means cell wall. Hello-BL means what? In between about nucleus as well as cell wall formation. Next, cellular telobia. These are just a diagrammatic representation. Next. Then again, dicot embryo, monocot embryo is there. Difference between dicot and monocot embryo. System. So whatever you are seeing, this is a monocot embryo, plumule, cotyledons, hypocotyle, and radical root cap. Radical develops into root, hypocotyle, plumule develops into stem section. And epicotyle, hypocotyle. Seed formation, yes. Again, in the seed, we have non-albuminous cell or non-endospermic cell. Examples, you just observe the example, bean, pea, andre vatani, groundnut. So these all are example of non-albuminous seeds. If all the endosperm is absorbed by the developing embryo in the seed, developing embryo into seed, it is a non-endospermic or non-albuminous. Andre seed ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ endosperm tissue ಅಥವಾ endosperm ಅಥವಾ nutrient ಇರಲ್ಲ. Next to endospermic or albuminous seed. If all the endosperm is not absorbed by the embryo which is developing into seed, so those are called as albuminous seed. Albuminous seed ge example andre maize, wheat, barley, castor, sunflower. Okay, see here the structural difference. Endosperm irutte. Elli endospermic seed ಅಥವಾ albuminous seed ಅಲ್ಲಿ endosperm ಅನ್ನೋ part ಇರುತ್ತೆ. But non-albuminous ಅಥವಾ non-endospermic seed ಅಲ್ಲಿ you cannot see a endosperm. Maize ಮತ್ತೆ bean ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೌದಾ? Then structure of a food, endocarp, seed coat, exocarp, outer layer, middle layer, mesocarp, inner layer, endocarp. Seed ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ endosperm, embryo, seed coat. ಇದು endosperm. Next embryo ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Then the seed coat, the outer layer. Then this is a most important table, guys. Before fertilization, ovary develops into fruit. Sorry, before it will be ovary. After fertilization, it develops into fruit. Ovary wall develops into pericarp, that is wall of fruit. Ovule develops into seed. Inner integument, inner layer develops into tegmen. Tegmen means what? Inner seed coat. Outer integument develops into testa, outer seed coat. Tunicle develops into stalk of a seed. Egg develops into embryo. Secondary nucleus develops into endosperm. Antipodal synergid, new cell synergids will degenerate or dissolve. New cell develops into perisperm. Hilum as a scar. There is a difference between perisperm and pericarp. Perisperm mantra, it is a residual nucellus. Residual nucellus, nucellus remain agiddu. ಉಳಿದಿರೋ nucellus ಗೆ perisperm ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ, which persist. It is present in some seeds such as beet and black pepper. ಪೆಪ್ಪರ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಣಸಿನ ಕಾಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಣಸಿನ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪೆರಿಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಪೆರಿಕಾರ್ಪ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ರೈಪಂಡ್ ವಾಲ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್. ಇದು ಫ್ರೂಟಿನ ವಾಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೂಟಿನ ಲೇಯರ್ which develops from wall of ovary. So there is difference between perisperm which is origin from nucellus. Pericarp andre wall of the ovary. Next. Fruit. True fruits matte false fruits anta irutte. True fruit that is formed from the fertilized ovary. False fruit arise which from the floral parts of other than ovary. Apple, thalamus, pineapple, banana. Parthenocarpy, very important question. Literally meaning virgin fruit anta heltare idakke. The common name is virgin fruit. So here these are the seedless fruits. It refers to production of egg cells without fertilization. Next, so we have seedless watermelon, seedless papaya, seedless banana. Then the important thing is apomixis. Apomixis anno concept andre eno? It is development of a seed without sexual reproduction or without fusion of the gamete. In apomixis, embryo will develop without the fusion with the gamete or without fertilization. So it is an asexual mean of reproduction anta heltare. Yeah. Next, polyembryony, many embryo. It is coined by Brown. So these are the stages: monoembryonic, seedling, this one. Here in polyembryonic, megaspore agatte. Megaspore admele nucellar embryonic initial cell, this one. Okay. Then adventitious embryo initiation. So nucellus iro one cell enagatte adu initiation togondu that will divide. Then after that, when it divides, adventitious embryo development, you can see here. In nucellus cell enagatte, it is developing into a embryo-like structure. So, which is called as polyembryony. Nucellar embryonic yakantare andre, it develops from the cell of a nucellus. Right? Yeah. Importance eno polyembryonod andre, it is used in horticulture. Nucellar embryos are supposed to free from diseases. Egaste now one question na solve madidvi. Then propagation of fruit trees such as citrus and mango. Citrus alli lemon, orange, mosambi. So these all are citrus fruit. The application of adventive embryos is also important for providing genetically uniform seedling. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಗಿಡದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಪಾಲಿಎಂಬ್ರಿಯಾನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Can be used for development of homozygous diploid, artificial production of these embryos from the eggs or synergid. Eggs ಮತ್ತೆ synergid ಇಂದು ಕೂಡ polyembryony technique ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Yes. Next, see here. Difference between polyembryony and apomixis. Formation of more than one embryo form a fertilized egg. Apomixis ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ fertilization ಇರಲ್ಲ. One zygote form many embryos. ಎಲ್ಲಿ polyembryony ಅಲ್ಲಿ zygote produce ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Seedlings identical as from single zygote but not clones of parent plant. Seedlings ಏನಿರ್ತವೆ those are identical but exact copy, parent ನ exact copy ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ those will be a Xerox copies or the clones of the parental plant. Example mango, citrus, onion. Example grasses and Asteraceae. Asteraceae ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ sunflower family. Okay. Now let us solve 2 or more questions. Fine. The next question is, the alluron layer in maize grain is especially rich in. Alluron layer in the maize grain or in the maize seed is rich in what? Starch, lipids, auxin, proteins. Yes? Who is going to answer this? A, D. Okay. The right answer is option D, that is protein. Allio means it is related to protein. Remember that. 24th question. Pollen grains are able to withstand extremes of temperature and desiccation because their exine is made up of. Just now we discussed it. The exine of pollen grain, the outer layer of pollen grain is made up of cutin, suberin, sporopollenin, callose. Okay. Very good. Option C is a right answer. Option C. Last question. Fertilization is depicted by the following condition. Fertilization, ಯಾವ condition suitable ಆಗಿದೆ? N to N, haploid to diploid, diploid to haploid B, C, diploid to tetraploid, D, tetraploid to diploid. Very easy question. Very good. Option A, that is haploid to diploid, is a right answer. So this is about sexual reproduction in plants. Tomorrow we are going to discuss regarding human reproduction. We are going to solve few more questions on human reproduction. I hope the class is clear. Any doubts? Whether the concepts are clear? Okay. Then let me end up the session. Have a nice day. Thank you.